So many people take credit for all their gifts. You know, your music is a gift, your talent is a gift. You feel like sometimes when you're making the music, you're like, yo, this is not me. This is something else pushing this kind of energy, this kind of emotion, this kind of love.
Sometimes it's actually not while I'm creating it, but when I hear it after, yo, did I actually add that in there? I don't remember adding that, but that's fire. I've never done that before. Or sometimes I'll make mistakes, like mistakes in the beat, and I'll finesse from that mistake, make it work. I feel like that again, it wasn't exactly me. It was a mistake, but it sounds good. And someone else hears it and they love it. It's definitely not always coming from me for sure. I give thanks and I'm very appreciative of my gift for real.
BeatStars, the foundation, the precedence. We flying flags in every city, global residence. And we killing off the masters. Ghetto slave driving bastards. We making hits faster than you could think. We're on the brink of revolution. All my indie music makers, here's your restitution. We got the game in a chokehold. Not paying the creators is a no-no. I got the smoke road for all the fam bam.
Welcome to the Pay the Creators podcast. I'm Abe BATSHON, the CEO of BeatStars, and today we got a very, very special guest, one of the young gunners, one of the guys that's racking up millions and millions of plays across YouTube, BeatStars, you name it. He's only been in the game for a couple years, but his impact has been great. He's worked with artists like Lil TJ, Pop Smoke, Meek Mill. This guy, in a short period of time, I've seen make some of the biggest impact than anyone else in our community. And I'm so proud to have him here. Welcome to the show, Othello Beats.
Thank you, Abe.
dog.
Beautiful intro.
Thanks for coming, man.
Of course.
Man, you are definitely making strides, bro.
That's what we're here to do.
And you posted something on your story last night, or this morning, actually. You're like, first time I got flown out to do this music thing.
Yeah.
Blew my mind, first of all, because we've seen the talent and seen, you know, what you've been contributing to the platform for so long. It boggles my mind that folks ain't really turned on to you the way I am, and Mike Trampy is, who kind of put me on to you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's the first time for everything, and I feel it was just perfect timing. Like I always believe in perfect timing. So yeah, definitely perfect timing, and I'm so excited to be here for this interview.
Yeah, man. I'm so happy to have you here. This is the inaugural season of the Pay the Creators podcast. And sometimes we start the episode just by kind of asking you an icebreaker question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was your welcome to the industry moment? And when you really felt, I mean, you're only 23, right?
Yeah, I'm 23.
And so your welcome to your industry moment probably happened recently. So like, what was that moment where you felt like, okay, Othello arrived? When was that moment?
Sometimes I still feel like I haven't had that moment, but like I am in it now. So I would say Pop Smoke for sure. Yeah, in 2020, February, when he dropped the deluxe album, and I was on that album, that's when I felt that I was like, okay, like this is legit. I got the paperwork. It says like whatever label it was that agreed to it, and that's when I felt like I was in the door.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. Like, Pop has collaborated with so many BeatStars producers. For sure, he was like all over the platform before he passed, and it really hurts me that he's gone, because he was on that ascension. He was about to be a global music star.
For real.
He was making like crossover pop hits. He was, man,
Yeah.
God rest his soul, man. He was,
for real.
he was a
R.I.P.
true
Pop.
talent.
Yeah.
For sure. But let's get back to Othello and your story. I want to start from the beginning, man. Talk a little bit about your upbringing. Talk a little bit about, you know, some of those formative years of Othello.
I was born in West Philadelphia, and from the womb, bro, like just got into music at a very young age. My mom put me in music school. I did that. She just saw the talent from me, just putting all the pots and cans in the kitchen and banging on them. So yeah, I just always had that drummer, that beat in me. So I went to music school. I loved that. And from there on, like, I remember too, growing up in Philadelphia, I always heard music playing in the house because we're in row homes. So my neighbor would literally blast music and I could hear it through the walls. So just growing up with that nostalgic feeling, it was like music was calling me. So yeah, that's how I got into it. from day one.
So you like, since you were young in those row homes in the East Coast, I know how you guys have those where everyone's just like slapped in together.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of like becomes family in a sense because you're so close to everyone. So you hear everyone's taste in music. You hear everyone's like drama that they're going through at the house. You know, can you share some of those, like any stories that you know living in West Philly that were just like anything that you could point out that were like, man, this was a really crazy moment in my life during this time? Could be childhood years or anything.
Yeah. So when it comes to that music in the row homes, it would play at like 2 a.m. So like I would fall asleep to that. And I remember we would have block parties in Philly, and I would always gravitate towards the speakers and the DJ. And I would just like try to stay as close as possible. So I just thought it was the coolest thing ever to DJ. So those were the first DJs I came across, and yeah, I would always gravitate towards them.
That's crazy you say that, because I remember when I was a kid and my cousin was a DJ, and I wouldn't leave his side when he was doing his thing at any show or like family parties or whatever it is. I was just as a little kid, just stuck to him, watching him DJ. So I know that feeling. It was something that's you don't forget. There's a reason why he was standing next to the DJ.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
The music was always something that was calling you. You said your mom put you into music school. How old were you when you got into music school? Like what instruments were you playing?
I was about 5 years old, and I was always on the percussion side. So drums, bongos, anything percussion. Like that's what I was on.
Was that something one of your parents pushed you to get into in terms of which instrument to touch?
No, it just came naturally. Like I said, like I was always beating on something, like in school, on the pots in the kitchen, just like doing this with my mouth, like just always, like it was just more so the beats that I was into.
I mean, right when you walked in, you went straight to your happy place.
It's the drums,
in the live room, and you just let out a roar. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like when a basketball player, when Steph makes a three-point shot, that's what he does.
Yeah.
It was like a celebration of your art. It was
real though.
Right?
Yeah. It feels good to just let it out. Like every time I'm drumming, I just feel like whatever's in me at the moment, I can get it out. So yeah, I love drums. Day one favorite instrument.
So many producers are always like, melody first, drums second. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, because you're primarily, a drummer, and that's kind of like your upbringing. And now when you're making music in the digital world, is it drums first or melody first for you? Like, I don't know. Where do you find that comfort in your first point of creation?
It depends on the mood. I notice when I'm with an artist, usually they want to hear the melody first. Mm-hmm. But when I'm by myself, I don't mind being experimental and starting out with the drums, like percussion first, and just building from that. Yeah. Yeah,
because I can just imagine, I'm not a producer, I'm a songwriter, so I can just imagine producers naturally would probably gravitate to the melody, but when you're a real drummer and you can add those intricate details to a drum pattern that a live drummer can do and a program drummer probably can't do, you may be able to evoke a different type of energy or feel just with the drums, and it may make more sense to start with the drums for you, because that's where your brain is wired.
Yeah, I think people sleep on starting with the drums. Like producers, everyone's always like melody first, I feel like. And with drums, me personally, I feel like I can be more creative when I start off with the drums, because I can do a weird drum bounce and then put the melody on top, whether I'm dragging a sample or a loop or like just playing it. I feel like my most creative beats have started off with the drums first.
Interesting, because that's not like the traditional beat maker online pathway.
Yeah, nah.
And yeah, it's true to your pathway and how you create, and it just shows you that there's just no rules to this shit. Like wherever you feel inspiration, you go with it. Okay, let's go back to some early days. So you, West Philly.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's a famous song. was there any like artists in Philly that you was like when as a kid growing up that you're, I mean, shit, it could be Will Smith too. I mean, like, is there somebody that from your, from the city that you were really, I mean, one of my old clients, Gilly the Kid, when I was working at Ingrooves, was someone I used to build with in Philly, and he used to tell me about all the amazing artists that were coming up there, back in the day.
Yeah, being a kid, I wasn't listening to local artists as much. It was definitely what was on the radio. But looking back, I would say for sure the one person from Philly I was always listening to was definitely Meek Mill, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're young, so Meek's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you kind of probably grew up.
Yeah,
like
grew
really
up on it.
Grew up with Meek, and then you probably missed that whole generation before that with Freeway and and that whole movement of Philly rappers.
Actually,
but do you ever go back and listen to those legends from Philly? Like, they made their mark, bro. Like,
they did.
What? They were killers.
Even though, like, it wasn't like how it is now, go on Spotify and stuff, but I would hear their music, like, getting a haircut or, like, on the way to preschool in the car.
Yeah.
So,
because the legends always played. Legends always played on the radio, huh?
Uh-huh.
Over there.
I always heard it, yeah.
Always heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
It's engraved in my brain when I hear those songs now. Like, I know the lyrics, even though, like, I didn't personally search it up, but I heard it all the time.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me, man. When it comes to the Bay Area music, always go back to the legends, no matter what,
Yeah.
because it's part of your fabric of who you are. Like,
it is.
Even though maybe it didn't impact you at that specific moment, but your parents were probably influenced by it, listened to it, cousins, family. So, yeah, let's go back to the family. So let's go back to the family. You're a son of an immigrant.
Yes, sir.
You're a son of an immigrant.
Two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Can you break down a little bit background of where your family comes from, and when they what was their immigration story from Africa? I'm guessing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents are both from West Africa, and the country is Liberia, and they came here in the 90s. My grandfather flew my mom down, and she was the first one, and she flew down my father, and my mom came for school. So she came here, and they lived in West Philadelphia. She went to Overbrook High School, which is the same school as Will Smith, like in that theme song, like it's the same school. And yeah, that was the first upcoming in Philadelphia. Started with my mom.
Amazing things happens when you hear about the impact immigrants have made on this country and their entrepreneurial impact. And I think I read a statistic like 70 or 80% of the, biggest companies in the world or biggest companies in America were founded by immigrants or children of immigrants. That's a crazy statistic when you think about that.
It is.
That's a crazy, I'm a child of immigrants as well, child of refugees. What do you think that subconsciously, did to you in terms of not just music, but in your life? Did you always feel that you had to go extra harder?
All the time. Growing up with my parents, like, it first started in school. Like, we weren't allowed to get, like, B's. Like, it had to be A+. And we'll get rewarded for it, of course. And so my mom and dad always had that fire on me where they're like, if you don't go to college, whatever you do, you just have to do it all the way, 100%, to your best of it. And you can't be a failure in life. So that always kept that fire on me to just, like, go super duper hard. Yeah, it definitely started with my parents. They gave me that first motivation.
Give you that first taste of work ethic with school and the expectations that they were, they needed from you.
Mm-hmm.
So you felt that you had to make them proud.
Yeah.
In school. And, when I hear that story, I probably hear mom and dad pushing you down a more traditional educational route, a more kind of like lawyer, doctor, something where you're getting some sort of degree that you can use in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you turned out to be a producer, a music producer. But you did have a music background. What was your family's reaction at when you kind of told them that you were taking this thing serious and you wanted to go full force with it? What was their reaction?
It came to a surprise to everyone, including me, because I didn't even know that it was going to be music production. In high school, I would always say, okay, I'm going to be an electric engineer or like electrician, something like that, because I love technology. So I was like, okay, I can go with that. But then when music started taking off, once I graduated high school, and I saw that was a route that I can make money from and feed myself and my family, and it was my passion. I was like, I'm going to go with my passion and what my skill sets are rather than start a whole new industry and like have to learn it. You know, I'll just go with what I already know and just build from that. So when I told him I was doing music, man, like there was a lot of talks. And even till now, like it's just now starting to make sense for them. You know, they still don't really understand it that much.
My parents still don't understand what I do either.
Like they get my BMI checks, and I guess that they see that proof that I can make a living from it. But it just took a lot of hard nights in the studio just to even get to that point where they could accept it and be okay and be confident that I can make it.
But you
music.
Really had to prove it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There was no there's
no no way around it. I had to go hard.
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to, because that kind of household, you're expected to have a path forward. You're expected to go have these points in life where and that's a lot of pressure for a young person, man. That's a lot of pressure for you,
Not for real.
Like I couldn't make it at 20. Oh my God, if you saw what I was doing at 23, like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like when I was making music at 23, the whole industry was kind of like going through a huge shutdown. A huge shutdown. We were like transitioning from CD to MP3 downloads, right? And piracy at the time. So it was all like stolen. People were just torrenting music, stealing music. No one was paying for nothing for years. No one was paying for nothing, right?
Yo, facts.
And so like the labels laid off half their staff, and revenues, the industry revenues, man, went down to abysmal. Like it was a graveyard. You know what I mean? When I was trying to dream about being an artist, and I know a lot of you young guys probably don't know, never experienced that. You guys experienced, if I want to say something, I just turn on my phone and go on Instagram. If I want to reach people and have a message, or if I want to showcase my talent, I just upload a YouTube video. This shit was not around. This shit was not. I want to build a beat business, licensing beats. That shit did not exist.
Nah.
And so, what do you think about those kind of things that are in your life today, and how do you view them? Because right now, for you guys, it's natural. It's like it's part of your lives every day to have this access to have these access to reach these audiences and do all the things that you guys want to do. So. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I always curious about young people. Like they just jump right into it. They're in it. They already go.
I definitely understand where it came from. So I'm really grateful that technology has allowed us to do it from our phones, and it's very accessible. Thank God I don't have to like chase Diddy and like, you know what I'm saying, wait outside for Jay-Z at Rock Nation to get his attention. So and that's why I've taken advantage of that. And there's other guys too. And I would always encourage anyone that wants to do music to take advantage of that. You don't have to wait on anyone. You can really like sign up make your YouTube, BeatStars, whatever it is you want to do, even SoundCloud, and do it yourself. So yeah,
it's a different game. It's a different game. There wasn't no 23-year-olds, doing what you were doing, and it's a blessing. I love it. It's beautiful that you guys can like jump in right out of high school, or sometimes we have producers in high school
for real
making a living.
12-year-olds.
Like there's a 5-year-old producer killing it on BeatStars. A 5-year-old.
For real?
Yeah,
5?
Yeah. And his mom and dad manages him, and it's crazy. His TikTok,
getting younger and younger.
His TikTok is like 1 million followers. It's crazy. But you guys had the option to just like jump right in and build something and create something and do something and take your art and I'm so happy that struggle is gone. I'm really happy.
Me too. I'm a very lazy person. I couldn't imagine having to like fly out just to get heard. You know what I'm saying? Like every time.
Bro, I was mailing probably like hundreds of CDs to labels, hundreds of CDs, demos. That was never hear back from nobody. They were not opening that shit. Thousands and thousands of artists.
Actually, I remember I've done that once. Like me and my boy made a mixtape in high school.
Yeah.
I produced it, and we went to New York, and we just went to like Atlantic and like wanted to slip the CD on the desk and everything.
Right.
But then I heard like they don't take music that way, so never did that again. Yeah.
You learn quick.
Nah,
You're
for
like,
real,
this
though.
is inefficient. We ain't doing this.
Nah.
Let me send you this BeatStars link, the SoundCloud link, whatever, YouTube link, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You started making beats in high school though, and so you kind of already not a lot of people have the sense to start something at that age. You know, I'm always trying to encourage my kids. You know, I'm like, yo, start now. Like, what is it that you love doing? And start now. Like, start playing with this. Get introduced to it, and I kind of get them going. You know, through a pathway of learning and finding, you know, the things that they're interested in and stuff. You know, but what prompted you to be like? I mean, I would love to hear. Was it financial reasons? Was it creative reasons? Like, what made you want to start? Or how did you get exposed to starting to making, you know, beats in high school?
Well, to be honest, I hated high school. Like, I did not like being in class. So when I downloaded FL on like my school's laptop, I don't know how I did that because like there was, like you couldn't go on any other website but the websites they directed you to go on. But for some reason, it downloaded. So I remember I was just in class, like chem class, like in the back with headphones on. Like just like watching tutorials and just trying to make beats in class. And I felt like that definitely kept me from being in trouble in class because when I wasn't doing that, I was always talkative or like making jokes or just not paying attention for real, walking the hallways. But doing that kept me grounded for sure. And yeah, I felt like it was a way that I finessed. And I downloaded FL like out of boredom. Like we're in band class.
Yeah.
And like, even though I love music, I hated my band class. So I felt like if I was doing music and band, that was still me being productive somehow, some way. So like, yeah, we were doing that in band class. Out of boredom one day, I downloaded FL, and that's actually how it all started, right there. Yeah.
Did somebody tell you to download it, or you just kind of like you were going down that path in band class, like you heard about it, or you saw like another student doing it?
It was my friend. He was my
friend?
partner in crime in
Okay.
band class. Steve, shout out Steve.
Yeah.
He recommended it. I download FL, and because I was always a DJ, so started off with DJing first. But I guess he saw that and thought that like I could actually make the music. So he suggested I do that, and I did, and here we are.
So were you DJing in high school?
Yeah, I was. I
Like-
was DJing the dances,
The dances?
and the proms, and like, yeah, I was that bull.
Man,
Yeah,
people don't give the DJ enough credit.
for real.
I'm sorry.
They would actually give me love. Like they would go to the dances just because I was DJing. Like I would like sell tickets.
Yo, people don't know, like, these DJs are putting in work to curate your experience, your audio experience, the mood, the energy, the
For real, yo.
Like,
the good ones do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the good ones is like, man, it's art to them. The sound selection, man. Like, you know, and then I'm almost guaranteed that while you're DJing and you're seeing reaction to the music that you're DJing and playing, and you, later on in life, you probably took that curation skill of curating to an audience into your music making process too, I bet.
Yeah, I feel like it's actually what has helped me to understand music more when I'm creating it. Like I'm envisioning me playing it for a crowd, and I can understand like, okay, like if I need to take this out, is this going to mess up like how they dance to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes the hi-hats, if they're too like fast or whatever, like it could mess up the groove like of how people are dancing to it. So definitely DJing has impacted my producing skills in a great way.
Yeah, I love that. I had to bring that up because so many people just don't talk about the impact of the DJ, man. Like, they don't even talk about it. And
For real though,
there's
shout out the DJs.
so many things you can learn from a DJ. So many things. And that's interesting to me because you're essentially like A&Ring your own music, you know, A&Ring music for yourself and how you're creating it. And, but you still need to learn how to create it. You still need to go through the process of learning how to create, how to use the software, best practices, what you need to do to get to the destination that you need to get to. And you are one of you're one of those anomalies. You're one of those aliens that found success really like fast. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that. But the making of the music, the making of it, we can't really like just glance over that. We can't just glance over that because I'm sure there were some things that you had to do to accelerate the process, to accelerate the development process of how to use the software, how to really construct a full arranged beat for someone to want to sing on, rap on, right? It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna download FL and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, talk about those moments of development from high school days, downloading FL, getting first introduced to it, and then kind of where you felt like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable showcasing my art now. Like, talk about the stages before you were able to be comfortable showcasing your art. What were some of the things that you had to do to develop?
Well, the first thing I would do when I first started was I would go on YouTube and listen to type beats and then download those type beats, put them in the DAW I was using, FL, and like remake it. Like sometimes I literally just put like a hi-hat on it or the snare, and that's how I started off. And once I got comfortable doing that, then I would like use loops, and that first was how I actually started making beats, using loops and adding drums. So I did that often, and then when I made my YouTube and I saw that people were actually using that and actually rapping on it, I started making music with the mindset of an artist being on it. So I would leave space for them, you know, take out instruments so there was space for them.
When did you realize that? When did you realize you needed to remove things? Because some producers, you know, they just keep creating.
Sometimes when I heard the song back and I was like, there's too much going on, I need to do less. And then I saw interviews where like 40 was talking about like how like he would take out stuff for Drake. So every time moving forward when I would add sounds, I would do the minimum. If it didn't need to be there, it doesn't need to be there, so I can leave room for the artists.
But you still maintain the energy.
Exactly.
You still maintain the emotion, even though you move. So you keep removing elements until the emotion is gone or the energy is gone. But as long as you still have that energy and the emotion as a foundation of the track, you can live with a very minimal track.
Yeah, for real.
Right?
Yeah. Anything that just doesn't need to be there, I just always take it out.
I can't write to busy shit. I
For real, it makes it hard.
I can't. I get distracted when I'm writing, you know? And like there'll be sounds just like, you know, peeking in. Like, why did you? And I'll just yell at the producer every time I'm listening to a beat. I'm like, why did you put that sound there, man? Like now I can't write to this. I'm distracted. It's not helping me flow. And it's like a lot of producers don't know that, man. That simplicity is key.
Yeah, for real. I go on hipstrumentals.com sometimes and listen to the songs that are already out, and I listen to the instrumentals, and I'm like, wow, the instrumental is so basic. But I understand now, because when they put the vocals on there, it sounds more complex than what it really is, with the like echoes and delays and filters and all that.
But you may not have even known that if you didn't take it upon yourself to download instrumentals from YouTube or from wherever and recreate them, you know? Because when you're recreating, you actually see the DNA of what's in the music. And you're like, oh, that's it?
Yeah,
you know, like these
for
are
real.
These are the three instruments they use, you know, in this track, and it hits like this. Oh, it's the melody. Oh, it's the emotion. Oh, it's the silence, the space. It's the, you know. So you were, and I've always preached that to people, to producers, like go on the Spotify charts, go on the BeatStars charts, recreate everything that's on there, not for, you know, copycat purposes, for educational purposes, understanding why the producers are doing this a certain way, why they're doing this a certain way, right? And without that, man, that would have you probably wouldn't have learned that lesson of space.
And I remember
simplicity.
when I sort on YouTube /BeatStars, like my most popular tracks is always the simple ones.
Yeah.
Like the ones with like no hi-hats in them. And it makes sense.
Feeling inspired? With BeatStars, you can sell your beats and collab with creators worldwide. Visit BeatStars.com to get started, and the first 100 people to sign up will receive a 30-day free trial. Just enter the code PTC30 at checkout.
Nice.
Last night, man, we went out to dinner, had some had a great dinner, and I caught something from you that really like. I was trying. You're a chill dude, and I feel like you are reserved, and this is our first time meeting, and I could tell that you have a personality of like, I'm not going to share everything all the time about me. I'm Othello. I'm very particular in my band class. I hated my band class. Very particular with what I want and what I want to do. And you were very particular in all the decisions that you make. And there was one thing that you did say that just stood out to me. It was like, man, music making like is spiritually fills my soul. And then you talked about spirituality in the creation process of making your music. And as a person that's like a believer in, a higher being and this crazy universe that we live in, this speck in the universe that we live in, the littleness of us, that I heard a little bit of like humbleness and gratitude, and where, and you're approaching music in a different way that maybe not every other music creator is approaching it, where there's other reasons why they do it. But I'd love to hear you kind of expand a little bit on how do you incorporate that spiritual energy into your music making, and how does it feel making it with that when in your mindset?
Well, to start off, I feel like music making is my gift. So I really, how should I put it? Like, I put it on the pedestal of me making music. Like, I don't take it for granted, for sure. So every time I'm cooking up, it always comes from here, for sure. How I'm feeling, like, I always love to talk to the artists, see how they're feeling. Instead of us making what's already on the Hot 100, even though we can study and listen to it, but I always wanted to come from here. That's when it's really true. So, yeah. And I mean, like, honestly, like, when I'm in the studio, sometimes I'm praying. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, God, please help me to make the best song ever with this artist. Or, like, please, like, give me creative ideas. Like, I'm just always looking for that guidance, because I know it's not all coming from me. I know it's coming from somewhere. So I always acknowledge that, and I feel like that helps me with my creativity, for sure.
I love that. So many people take credit for all their gifts. So many people think that, I put my 10,000 hours in, and these are I created these gifts. I created this success. I created this, everything that was given to me, and like I was just telling you earlier, like, you're an anomaly. You're an alien. You're an alien. You're one of the biggest selling producers in the history of the fucking internet. So there's millions and millions of producers all over the world.
For real.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're 23 years old. Do you feel like sometimes, like you said, your music is a gift, your talent is a gift. Do you feel like sometimes when you're making the music, you're like, yo, this is not me. Like, this is not me. This is something else pushing this kind of energy, this kind of emotion, this kind of love, or whatever it is that helps you create.
Yeah. Sometimes it's actually not while I'm creating it, but when I hear it after, like when it's the next day, I'm like, yo, did I actually add that in there? I don't remember adding that, but that's fire. I've never done that before. Or sometimes I'll make mistakes in the beat, and I'll finesse from that mistake, make it work. And I feel like that, again, it wasn't exactly me. It was a mistake, but it sounds good. And someone else hears it, and they love it. So, yeah. It's definitely not always coming from me, for sure. I give thanks, and I'm very appreciative of my gift, for real.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's great, man. That's great. You got something else you're working for. It keeps you grounded. Keeps you grounded. Hold on to that, please.
For real.
Don't let go of that one.
For real.
Don't let go of that one. You have been on a platform for about 4 years now, I think, or maybe less. 3 years. 2019, maybe.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, 3 years.
All began.
3 years, man.
Yeah.
3 years. And you've made strides that, some of the greatest on the platform ever have never made, in super quick amount of time. What would you attribute that to?
Definitely me being outside the box, not trying to do what everybody else was doing. Like, I remember you talking about yesterday at the dinner, you said everyone was doing trap beats, and they all sounded the same, and now everyone was kind of bringing their own flavor. From day one, I brought my own flavor. I remember my same friend that told me to download FL. He was also telling me, like, to make trap beats.
Of course.
And even though I know how to do that and I would do that, it didn't exactly express how I was feeling. So I didn't enjoy it as much. And when it came to BeatStars, I feel like people love my creativity. They love that it was different. And, yeah, so they gravitated towards that. Like, it stood out, for sure.
Soul in it, man.
Yeah, for real.
You added it. You sprinkled it in. You put the ingredients in.
That little seasoning.
A little bit. And, you know, when I listen to your music, I'm 41. You know, I'm going to age myself. When I listen to your music, man, I'm like, oh, God. I know all the rappers from my generation are like, they are all over your shit. They're all over your shit for sure.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of producers, because like I said, we were just having that conversation where everyone is making trap, you know, making trap for the younger crowd, you know, the 22 and younger, 25 and younger crowd, right? Everyone's kind of on that either drill or trap, you know, at that time back in the day, you know. But you went after a different demographic of customers. And when did you notice that the music that you're making, of course, it appeals to everybody, not just an older generation of artists, right?
Yeah.
A mature, maybe a more polished artist, maybe a more polished or more seasoned artist, right? But yeah, I'm sure younger artists are loving your stuff too. But did you ever like, was that intentional? Were you like, oh, I'm gonna make music with a little bit less perfection into it, a little bit less, I don't know, like the same arrangement. Like I'm gonna go after a whole different crowd. Maybe. Did you know you were attracting like a different mature crowd of artists?
When I started to look at the analytics, I noticed that like it was mostly between. It actually says between 18 and like 30. And my sound derived from what I grew up on. I just wanted to advance it. So, yeah, it was what I knew. Like when I mentioned back earlier to being in Philly, like the music that I was hearing through the walls were like soulful records. So like that's what I grew up on, and I'm already a drummer. So I'll literally like take some of those records that I remember growing up on, that nostalgic feeling, adding like a filter on it, so it sounds like it's coming from walls. Yeah. And like just add my sauce on there. So I definitely wanted to just advance what was already going on in hip hop, and just add my seasoning to it.
I kind of compare that to a story with a producer that I love and I know very well, Dream Life Beats. And Dream Life Beats makes like the dopest boom bap 90s era hip hop beats and is super successful at it. One of the top sellers in the history of the company too. And he made music, you know, for people of lovers of that sound, 90s East Coast music, you know. And I discovered what he did different. I discovered why he was able to kind of like reintroduce that genre of music to a crowd of today. And it was all about the mix. It was all about the mix. The mix wasn't right back then in the day, in the 90s. It was dirty. Yeah. The mix was dirty. Yeah. The sounds were clashing. They were, at the time, great, amazing. There was some great engineers back then, but also the sound selection was a little bit different. So he had upgraded the drums, you know, and the mix. And you kind of did the same thing too. Yeah. And it's like you didn't like reintroduce a genre of music. You just polished it and curated it a little bit differently and introduced it in your own way and put your own little signature on it. You know, you created your own niche. You know what I'm saying? You created your own niche, but you've been dabbling outside of just, you know, the music that you first started creating now. So you were just playing me a song that sounded like a sexy R&B pop song that we're going to listen to by Kells in a second. Yeah. And then, you know, you kind of grown outside of just that niche and you're excelling in other genres too. When do you know when you feel like you need to start experimenting with different genres, especially when you've already kind of garnered an audience as a business owner, right? As a business owner, you're thinking about your customers. You're like, damn, I built this business. I built this audience around this product, this thing on the menu. How, as a business owner, when do you start deciding of like, damn, okay, I feel comfortable introducing this new product on the menu to my fans, to my people?
Once they've consumed it so much and there's other producers literally copying it, that's when I'm like, okay. It just comes naturally, like, for me to move on and to just evolve. So once a lot of other guys have figured out exactly what I was doing and how I did it, and I was like, okay, like it's time to move on. Like I'm really a pioneer of this music stuff. Like I'm a leader for sure. Like I'm always 10 steps ahead. Like the song that you're even talking about that you're gonna play a little bit.
Yeah.
I did that beat like a year ago, and it's still people are now catching up to it, like what I was doing a year ago. So I feel like I always want to be ahead of the sound.
That's so interesting. I'm sorry I had popped in because it's like you're like I wait till people copy me and then I move on.
Yeah.
You wait till you've actually like made a cultural impact on the creator community where you're like, oh, culturally, I'm influencing all of these producers to make music like me now. And then that's when you're like, okay, I'm cool. I
let them have it. Yeah.
Let them have it.
Yeah.
What do you when you see that and you hear that and being 23 and you're an innovator in that way, what is that? How does that make you feel? Do you get angry? You're like, man, everyone's copying my shit. Or do you feel like, oh, wait, I love that. That's going to push me to do something else. It's going to push me to do something more creative.
The second option, I love it. It pushes me to grow. And I don't want to be comfortable doing the same thing over and over again. I definitely want to grow. So once I peep that they are doing that now, I'm like, okay, like it's time to continue the journey. What's the next step? What's the next sound? What's the next artist? What's the next wave? Just to be ahead. Like I said, the greatest are always ahead of their time. So I just always want to be ahead of my time.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Being very conscious where you are is great. And it's like you are reflective. You're self-reflective. You're like, man, I need to improve here. I need to set these goals here. Now, going back to 2019, you decided to get on the platform. You already saw the platform there's millions and millions of beats already on it.
Oh, yeah. I felt that pressure. Yeah.
Right? Like, you're like, whoa, hold on. There's like millions of beats on this platform. And some of these things are crazy.
Uh-huh.
I want to understand.
Yeah, I was indecisive at first. I was literally blocking my own blessings by me prolonging signing up. Like, I saw it, but then I remember I'll see people saying, like, it's already popping right now, so it'll be too late, So I was literally blocking my own blessings, just wasting time not creating the account. But it got to a point where people wanted to purchase my beats, and I didn't want to have to make every individual sale.
Yeah.
I needed to automate it, so BeatStars was perfect for that. So I signed up, kind of just like people forcing me to sign up.
Forced you?
Yeah, basically because they want to keep purchasing beats, and like I said, I didn't want to have to trap every individual beat, so I made the BeatStars, and that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, for real. It made life so much easier, and yeah, like it was a way for me to also do other things and not have to waste time like making every single sale.
That's awesome, man.
It saves a lot of time.
Shout out to those rappers, man. Shout out to those rappers.
Shout out those rappers, yo.
Shout out to those rappers.
Yeah.
Forcing you super talented producers to get your business shit together. Like, yo, set up a store. You know what I mean?
Real,
that's dope, man. And that's like the best problem to have.
Uh-huh.
When you got people knocking on your door like, yo, we need your shit. Figure it out for us. Please give us a better way to consume your shit. You know? That's great.
That's
is
beautiful.
Great. That's beautiful. So that started in 2019, and then COVID hits.
Yeah.
COVID hits, and I don't know, I think it was Mike Trampy, maybe. You had a beat go off.
Yeah.
There was a beat that went off
before
on the platform.
Yeah.
Before 2020?
Yeah. It was
so right when
Alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah. They're very similar in the vibes. Like simple, you can freestyle on it, soulful, the drums are hitting.
All it took was one beat.
Yeah.
And I saw that motherfucker on the charts all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm
To this day, yo.
To this day, still go-
yeah, like to this day, people are still tagging me in it.
What?
Yeah, it's a classic.
That's that long tail. That's that long tail, recurring revenue
Yeah.
that and you don't have to disclose this, but is that one of your best selling beats ever?
Yeah, it is. It's
the
up
best
there.
it's the best selling
it's
one?
like top 5.
5-figure, 6-figure? How much those beats earn? Like one of them like that, one of the ones that go off.
Within a year, probably. Yeah, it was definitely 5-figure. Don't worry.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's crazy. Off of one beat, and it's beautiful. But it's crazy when you said I was blocking my own blessings. I was blocking my own blessings. We all do that shit.
For real.
We all do that
Procrastinating, yo.
Procrastinating, fear.
Literally, I'm my biggest op, bro. Like, I literally block my own blessings sometimes by just prolonging it for no reason. Like,
no reason.
uh-huh.
Just because we just afraid of the unknown. Kind of overthink a little bit.
Yeah.
But those 2 years, you made the most of it, and and that saying that you were saying, you were so intimidated because it was like, what am I going to do? There's millions of people here already. How am I going to penetrate? How am I going to make a difference? And I love that your story, because that's what I love. Listen, I love BeatStars.
Me too.
Listen, not because I made it.
Facts.
I love it. Not because I made it. It's not even because of the technology. I love it because the cream always rises to the top. Always. And our algorithm and our kind of like heaviest weight of ranking is always going to be that artist, that recording artist, that songwriter that's put money in your pocket. That transaction is the biggest form of credibility to a track. You don't need no one's ears. You don't need no one's opinions. You don't need feedback from nobody. If that track rises to the top of the BeatStars charts, then it's a cash cow. And when you're talking thousands of people, I'm saying thousands of people spending their money on your music, you can't force that. You can't force thousands of people from different countries around the world to pay you for that same track. So it's the number one symbol and indicator of success. And that one track kicked off your whole shit. Put you on the radar. It put you on the radar.
Literally.
No, for real. Put you on the radar with us too as a company. I started seeing the marketing department like having interviews with you and doing content with you. And I'm like, who's Othello? Oh, Alone.
Yeah.
And it started, it started that way, and it kind of put you on the map, and it's opened your music, your hard work. It's not, no person or platform can replicate or create your success, because it starts with what you created, the music, man. And I feel like producers are missing that a little bit. They're missing that. They're too worried about the metrics, the social follows. They're too worried about their plays. They're too worried about the clout. They're too worried about all of these other things except for the music. And you proved that. I don't even think you even like showed your face early on when you were making music. You had your avatar, you had your logo, and you just went with your logo, and you weren't like a real public figure. And it's like, I'm just dropping fire tracks.
Yeah, I'm just dropping bangers.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna do. And what would you say to producers that forget about the priority, man, which is the music, and they get too caught up with the superficial shit that don't really mean nothing?
I would tell them to do what makes them happy, and if it was the music at first, then you always got to keep that priority number one, because it is easy to get lost in the sauce, for sure. But if the music got you to that point, then you always got to keep that number one, for sure.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Got to be. What kind of habits changed? What kind of habits changed when the COVID thing happened? Like, what kind of habits changed in your work ethic, your dedication? Now you were locked up at the house. We all were. You know, what did you benefit from that time while you were in the middle of building your business?
Well, at that time, I also had a job. I was working at my church, and we have a kid camp. So I would pick up kids and take them to school, and then pick them up, help them do their homework and stuff. So I was doing that, but when COVID happened, I was off from work. So it gave me time to, first of all, spend it like with my family and like with myself more. And doing that, it allowed me to perfect my craft more. I was in the crib and was locked in. I was always locked in, but like I was really locked in. And it gave me time to make a bunch of uploads, like daily uploads. I could post better beats now because I could spend more time on it. And it allowed me to even grow outside and start marketing more. Like I remember that's when I started running ads too during that time. So yeah, it gave me that time to really just focus.
Build all the things that you needed to learn about building a successful business, not just
Yeah.
making the music. Now you're learning about you had the time to learn about marketing, advertising, and building a brand, which is all part of the success, man.
Yeah, that was like the
you
most
need that.
positive part about COVID for real in quarantine.
For sure. All right, so now you got all the success with your online business, and you've made a name and sold music to thousands and thousands of artists all over the world. You start getting these like crazy placements, man.
Yeah.
You start
Started
like
to stack up.
you start
Yeah.
you start working with like amazing artists, and then you decide to move to LA.
Yeah.
And
That took a minute. I know, like it
Yeah.
sounds like it happened really quick, but look, yeah, it took a minute to do the LA trip.
But did the
yeah.
placements happen through while you were living in Philly, or was it when you kind of did the LA movement industry, kind of like going out there more often, working with artists in the studio and stuff, or were you already landing these placements just at the house, at the crib?
I was at the crib, and literally the day that Carl, my lawyer, texted me about Pop Smoke, I was driving the van on my way to drop off a kid to school, and he texted me about Pop Smoke. So I was still in my hometown doing my regular job and trapping beats out my mom's crib, and that's when my first major came. Yeah.
So really, what people say, you have to move to here or you have to go to here, like to a music industry hub to find success, like that's total bullshit, because you're working with multi-platinum artists from your bedroom at the house. And I hear it every day, and it's beautiful, and there's no excuse, right? But let's not put the, kind of like the relevance of actually getting into the studio and working with artists and taking these trips to LA and connection and networking and, building a team to what those kind of things can bring into your career too. Because I love that. It makes a producer more versatile. It makes you, it helps along with your growth. And it's a common theme here. You're always wanting to grow. You're always wanting to feel challenged and feel uncomfortable. What made you say, you know what, I'm gonna put my hat in the ring, and I want to be in the place where all of this crazy activity is happening. I want to put my face in there. I want to get management. I want to do this. I want to do like what like when did that trigger in your brain that this was another goal that you wanted to achieve?
Well, day one, when I started making beats, I was locked in with this artist in my high school. His name was Spencer, and we put out music. And I always felt that I was growing more by being locked in with an artist. Like, they would help me, like, take things out. Remember when I was saying make room for artists? Because I want to make beats. Like, I like making beats for sync stuff, too, not going to lie. But, like, I love working with the artist more. So taking that risk to go to L.A. and live there full time, I'm able to lock in with an artist every single day. And that's going to... It's been boosting my creativity for sure, because I'm locked in with all kind of artists, like not just rappers, like singers, pop artists, alternative rock. So all that mixed into what I already have going, I know that if I continue to stay in LA, like it's just going to be crazy in the next few months, probably even to come. So being in LA in person is definitely going to help develop my creativity for sure.
But at the same time, you're still making content. You're building multiple streams of revenue. You're still maintaining your online business. You're still making sure that, all of your babies are being taken care of. Not,
For real.
It's important.
It's important. I remember when we were in LA, I was at Red Bull Studios for this camp, and like I literally had to go in the corner real quick to upload to YouTube/BeatStars.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to feed the people still.
Have to, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you have to. Because they're your supporters.
For real, yeah.
And they're, you know,
they my family, and they be like deprived when I haven't uploaded. Because sometimes, even when I'm not busy, sometimes I like slack with uploading because I get in this bubble where I'm like, I don't know what to post. Because I feel like sometimes they're expecting something. So, that pressure. But
it's good.
It seems like they love it when I still post anything like that, even if it's a little different from what I usually post. So I'm getting back into that habit of posting like daily again.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Being a Philly dude, and you see the legend Meek Mill do a freestyle to your beat, being from West Philly. What? Please explain to me, after hearing that freestyle, him on YouTube posted to that beat. I think it was on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
How did that feel, dog?
I still remember that same exact day. Like, I was in the room, the same room that I made the beat, sitting in the same chair, the same laptop, and I was scrolling through my feed on IG, and I heard the Othello on Othello, like my tag, and I heard that lately I've been smoking on the ruts. I've been like, and I was like, whoa, like this is really happening. So I paused it real quick, and like my best friend was there, Evan. And I was like, bro, like, just look at this. Like, am I tripping, bro? And like, he was like, whoa, like, Meek is actually really rapping on this right now. So that was a moment that I'll never forget. And, bro, like, all my friends from high school, all my supporters from day one, they were just super, everybody, like, the whole city. Like, bro, I remember that week, too, people were calling me, and they're like, yo, we're at the park right now playing basketball, and they're out here playing that Meek freestyle. So just like seeing the people react to it, like it was more than just a freestyle. It was like a moment.
Yeah.
People just wanted to hear it from Meek, to be honest, because I remember he had not dropped in a minute in that freestyle.
I mean that freestyle has numbers,
yeah,
even compared to some of his his own music that he's put out. Like that freestyle put up numbers.
Bro, people to this day are still tagging me, still doing freestyles, still like, yo, like why hasn't Meek dropped this? And I'm like, I don't know, but that joint was fire.
Can I tell you something? And no shade to Meek. I love you, Meek. You're an amazing artist. I love you.
For real.
But what you did was actually a brilliant marketing tactic. I mean, you found one of the top-selling beats on BeatStars and decided to do a freestyle on it. And I'll tell you why that's brilliant. Like we were talking about earlier, where if a beat hits the charts, and that's the ultimate kind of like certification of what is a hit. Like that beat was a hit already, dog.
Yeah, for real.
That beat was it, bro. If Meek Mill just put the beat on his YouTube channel, I'm sorry, I love you, Meek. You're an amazing artist, but that beat was already a hit.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant marketing. If any big artist that's out there, like go and drop something to the beats that are, racking up, on BeatStars or on YouTube, because it's proven these beats are hits. Yeah. These beats are hits. And we're going to talk about some hits right now.
TJ does that too, like Lil TJ.
Yeah. Lil TJ been there forever.
Yeah, he'll go back and like search up his name and see which one. Like it makes sense. Like it's such a fire move to do. Like I would do that too if I was an artist.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What? It's already a hit. The streets already said it's a hit. The beat got millions of plays already. Yeah. Like it's already a hit. You could just mumble on it. No shade to Soulja. I love Soulja Boy, but he jumped on that the Phantom track was the #1 song of the year on BeatStars. Yeah. All he had to do was make it clap.
Seriously.
It was a hit.
Yeah.
The beat was already fire. Anyway, we're going to get into, I'm sorry, I'm going into my...
Because it's facts, bro. I'm going
into my rants, but I love it. I just want to see more artists do it. So we're going to get into some of these tracks. Some of these tracks that you produce, and we're going to remind people, like, this is the type of music that you make. And the first song is Pop Smoke's Like Me that you produced. So we're going to get into that with Dante. But before we get into it, Dante, is there any backstory on that? I think we kind of already talked about it. It just happened. He found it online, right?
Yeah, for sure. When I met Stephen Victor, who was the manager, he told me, to confirm it. Steven actually found that beat and gave it to Pop, and
shout out to Steven.
It was supposed to come out on the next project, The Stars, for the AIM, something like that, but it ended up coming on the deluxe. And I remember when the album dropped, because I just thought it was going to be on the album, Like, I felt so disappointed. I remember that Thursday night at midnight, I went in my car with my friend to listen to Pop Smoke's new album, and I didn't hear the song on there, and I was like, dang, I didn't make it. Oh. And I remember it was raining that night, so I went in the house just like, bro, like, literally went to sleep. And then literally a few days later, it was a beautiful day. I remember I was ironing my clothes, and then, like, my phone started blowing up, so I went to Instagram, because my DMs were blowing up, and they're like, yo, this new fire, like, Pop Smoke song is fire. And I was like, wait, did it leak or something? Because I didn't hear it on the album. So then I went and I updated Apple, and he had dropped it deluxe. And when I heard the song, like, as soon as I clicked play, I heard Othello on the beat, and I was like, wow, thank you, God. Like, it really came out. And it was a beautiful day. So it hit harder coming out that day than on that radio night anyway. So, yeah, it just hit hard. And, yeah, it's one of my favorite songs.
I got to give a shout out to Pop Smoke and Stephen Victor. Stephen Victor we've been helping him clear beats for like Pop's albums and from other tracks that he's worked on. And they've been big supporters of the platform, man. So I love that there's so many BeatStars producers that got tracks with Pop Smoke. It's beautiful.
Real,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Little TJ, same thing. All right, so we're going to get into this Pop Smoke Like Me. I'm gonna react to it. I think this might be my first time listening to it. I can't lie. It might be. It might be.
Yo,
this is off the first album.
Meet the Woo 2. Like, it was the last album before he passed. So this is definitely like a special album. Like, it wasn't one of the ones that came after the postponus.
Cool.
If that's how you say it. But
cool.
yeah,
Got it. Dante, can we play it?
Another nigga like me. You say you looking for me, you got the right one. She feeling me, she say you so wavy. Boy, you sexy, yeah, you fire.
Okay, vocal sample.
I'm like, what's crackin'? She like, Pop, I got a mint. I'm like, damn, how you know me? Said she got me on the gram. I said, look, I understand, but baby, I'm the fan. Cause you the baddest bitch I ever see walk on the land. She say, what's that on your face? And I say, it's a cold world. Where you buying your lips though? Got me like, oh girl, get money and stay aggressive. Baby, it's your world. More talking
man, fast talking Pop, girl. Man.
I'm with the lions and gorillas, gang bangers and drug dealers. All them skimmers and them killers who I hang with. Yeah, I take
what did you think he did to beat justice?
Bro, he ran it, yo.
I'm sanctioned. Why? Cause if I shoot, I'ma shoot that. Woo and I'ma woo back. Yeah, I'm from the floor, you know the language. I put it on the table so that everything
so chill.
Put them diamonds on your necklace.
Just talking to you. Player shit.
Yeah, he was definitely talking that talk.
Player shit.
Laid up in the bed, lifting up her dress, had her bent over the ledge, kissing on her neck when she went to give me head. What's next? Look, let me fuck you, let me suck you, let me eat you, let me hold you, let me beat up on that pussy like a real nigga supposed to. If you ain't know I had the power, let me show you. Shark on your
bro, I tell you the amount of girls that like love this song.
Oh, sexy.
Bro, that was the best feeling ever too, yo. That was motivation.
Yo, was some of these girls getting in the DM after they found out that you...
Prior to that, I was making a lot of like hard rap stuff, and obviously girls don't like, I mean, they listen to that too, but this was something more smooth, and the girls were definitely feeling this one a lot.
It's kind of nice having the fans of the girls support you. Yeah.
I'ma treat you right as long as you let me.
Yeah, you just let this ride.
All I do is chase Fetty. Know I ride with that semi, so let me know when you ready. I'ma pull up in a bench, just finish collecting funds. Grabbing on your ass,
and it's like another thing that made it special too. This was like the first song that wasn't drill that he put out. Like his catalog is now.
My favorite shit is this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was kind of like.
This was the first start of like his non-drill stuff.
Shit.
So when people heard this, they're like, "Whoa!" Like you produced Pop Smoke's first non-drill song. I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that." Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Oh my god, because that's my favorite shit from him.
For real, though.
Is the songs for the girls. That's like my favorite shit from him.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing, dog. Okay, we're going to get into the second one. Kale's Sinner. Any little backstory on this one before we get into it?
Well, it's definitely the hottest song in New York right now. And this man has one song out, and he has the whole world, the whole industry eyes on him. So shout out Kale's. When I first heard this song, I was in Malibu on the way to this party. We're in an Uber. I asked if I could play the song. He played it. I was like, whoa. Okay, like, it wasn't on max volume, so I couldn't really hear it. But I was like, okay, I have to come back to this after the party. When I heard it after the party, I just knew. Like, I literally just knew it was going to take off. And it is. Like, the song's going crazy right now.
What's the kind of numbers on it right now?
It's got like 160K views on YouTube, and it dropped 2 months ago. But they literally just put it up on Spotify like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he already has, bro, like at least like over like two. Like, it's up there.
It's,
like,
it's starting to go.
Yeah.
It's starting to go. All right, Dante, let's get into Kel's Center. Riding it. What kind of a vocal effect do you think he got on it?
This is his voice.
That's his voice?
Voice of an angel, yeah. That's what Twitter is saying. Like, they're like voice of an angel.
Interesting.
All my niggas wanna ball. Put the car in overdrive, I know you think about me. I should probably drive it home, but I don't move. I've probably never been no sinner. Cause I got...
It's like his high frequency just complements your lows.
Yeah, the tone is crazy.
Yeah.
People don't know how to process it. People don't even know what to call it yet, yo.
They put out a music video to this one already?
Yeah. They put the music video out first before they put it up on Apple and DSPs. And the music video, it was all organic, yo.
See, that's the kind of song like you listen to, you're like, man, I got to go watch the video.
Yeah.
You know, there's some songs, you know, he's like, I don't care about watching the video. I'm like, this one, I want to watch the video. There's for sure a story here. There's something going on. There's got to be some kind of like story to this, you know?
Yeah, when I read the comments, people were not expecting that on YouTube because he's at a corner store in like Brooklyn or so, and it's dark. So people were expecting like drill because it said like New York artist drops a song. And the comments are just like, whoa, like I did not expect that. Like voice of an angel, literally. And it threw people off. People thought like his vocals was the sample and they were waiting for another rapper to come on. But like, nah, like that was it right there. And it's definitely starting a whole new wave in New York for sure. People have been hitting me up wanting like more vibes like that. So yeah.
Bro,
It's changing the game for sure.
Listening to your music, I'm still surprised Drake has not hit you up.
Oh,
maybe
it's
that,
coming for sure. Okay. I literally have dreams like of me being locked in with him, like literally dreams. So.
It would be kind of scary.
Yeah,
it would be kind of scary.
It would do some damage for sure. It would do some damage, yo.
Yo, Drake, hurry up.
Yeah, for real
though. Beautiful, but okay, we love Drakes. We love all these big artists. But you know, there's still something that poked out to me yesterday too. We're gonna wrap this up, but. There's something that you pointed out to me yesterday that you love doing is that you love staying connected and working with not very all the way known artists.
Yeah.
You love locking in with artists that are still kind of like developing and like polishing their craft and getting ready for superstardom, kind of in a sense. Like you see the work ethic in those artists. I'm just curious, like what kind of advice would you tell artists that are always just striving to get their beats placed on the biggest artists in the world and then forget the process of working with other artists that are not at that level yet and how that helps you you develop in your craft?
I just always keep it a buck when I talk to artists and give them my advice. If you're an upcoming artist and you're striving to work with big artists, like, yeah, you might get lucky, but like those artists don't care about you. Like they didn't come up with you. Especially if they're not eating off of you. So I always suggest that you want to grow up with people. This whole music thing is like high school. It's like when you're an upcoming artist, you're like in 9th grade, and it's like, okay, you're trying to be friends with the 12th graders, but understand they're about to graduate. They're not going to remember you like that, you know? So I always suggest like, yeah, like it's cool to strive for that, but grow with some people. It will make you happy when you're at the Grammys and you're winning an award and you could like be thankful to thank your friends that you came up with rather than like you go over there and it's like, you're basically like handed everything. You're like an industry playing, you know what I'm saying? It won't hit as hard. So I always suggest like grow with producers too, like grow with artists, grow with the new upcoming video directors, you know what I'm saying? Grow with like anybody that's growing because that's how you really establish relationships and that's what I do. So my ears are always to the streets. I'm not always looking for the next thing, but like I'm always open to working with the next thing for sure.
And a lot of producers are like, where do I start? Where do I start? How do I do that? Right. And I always tell them, yo, you start with your inbox, your orders, like all the orders that you have on BeatStars, all those artists that already fuck with you, like get to know these people, like find out if they're dope. Go listen to their music on SoundCloud or YouTube or Spotify. Find out who's vibing with your music. And, you know, those guys already fuck with you. Those girls already love your music. So it's like instant icebreaker to reach out and start developing and get some sessions in and work with them, you know? So I always tell producers, start there, start there. And you may uncover an amazing artist that's sitting in your inbox that is already fucking with your music already.
Yeah, I know that's what works for me when I work with artists that want to work with me. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Our relationship is much greater. The music is better. Rather than me chasing them, it's like, why do that when I could work with someone that's going to be probably as dope or even better than them in like due time?
Hell yeah.
So,
love that, bro.
Yeah.
Love
It's
that.
good to be ahead.
Yo, this conversation has been amazing, man.
For real.
It's been great getting to know you. And dude, your passion is unmatched. I hope you continue on that path of passion and you don't lose that, because that's what makes you you.
For real.
And your certainty of like where you want to go and what you want to be. Don't lose that. Keep implanting that vision. I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished, man. Thank you for being a BeatStars all-star.
Yeah.
All-star.
Of course.
And
It's family.
Appreciate you on the platform, and I can't wait to see what you do, man. Would love for you to kind of share little final words or like where people can follow you and, you know.
Sup, y'all. Y'all can follow me at Othello Beats on every social media platform, any DSP, any music platform. Always feel free to reach out to me. Sometimes my inbox are full, but you could always reach out to Nikki, my manager. Her ad is in my bio as well. And if you feel like you're fired, just send me fire music. That's all. And I'm always listening. Yeah, God bless you all. Thank you for watching.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you
My
for
guy.
everything.
Yes, sir.
BeatStars, the foundation, the precedence. We flying flags in every city, global residence. And we killing off the masters. Ghetto slave driving bastards. We making hits faster than you could think. We're on the brink of revolution. All my indie music makers, here's your restitution. We got the game in a chokehold. Not paying the creators is a no-no. I got the smoke road for all the fan bands.